Hey everyone, this is Tim Dial. I just wanted to come on here and give a little update again today on the market and kind of what's going on right now. We did start the day today in pretty good shape. We were up, anywhere from 3 to 6 basis points on the 30-year, which means rates were actually down 3 to 6 basis points, which was good. However, we've ended the day not as good. We're down 7 basis points, which means rates are up 7 basis points at this point. So we did take a bit of a hit there, but it's very small. 7 basis points isn't really that much. And we did have a technical level that did hold. It basically hit right on that technical level, and that's where it stopped. So, which the technical level it hit was the 50-day moving average, it looks like. So that technical level held. So I believe that means that the rates will probably go the other way tomorrow because they have no more room to that downside. But I did want to give a little bit of an update. There's all this tariff stuff going on, and I always watch the MBS highway videos every day, and I look at their data and stuff that they present. This is an area that I sort of disagree with them on based on what they came out with today. And that's not normal. I rarely ever disagree with them on stuff, but I believe that they have been affected by politics to some degree on this issue. And so I wanted to cover that real quickly, kind of go over a couple of things there. I don't like for politics to enter into what's going on with the data and what we can kind of expect. They came out with today that they think that Trump is just using the tariffs as a negotiating tactic to get what he wants and reduce the flow of fentanyl. But when you look at the data, the flow of fentanyl across the borders is primarily Americans. It's not because of, as a matter of fact, 90% of the flow of fentanyl across our borders is Americans driving it back and forth. They'll go over, pick it up from the cartels, drive it back across the border, and it's at the ports of entry. So that's what's going on. 90% of it's coming across that way. It's Americans committing crimes, not immigrants. And so this idea that, and the other part of that too is, we're picking a fight with Canada, and only about 1% of our fentanyl comes across the border from Canada, and that's being driven across by Americans. So anyway, that's what's going on. This fight over the possibility of tariffs is primarily just for the public interest, I think, and it's not really anything that's real that's going on. And so at some point, I think there is a possibility that the tariffs will, that he'll back off on the tariffs, and he'll create some sort of scenario where it's like, well, we won this or we won that, when in reality, nothing really happened. But the problem is that right now, because there's this issue of the possibility of tariffs are inflationary. And so the possibility of tariffs, or the fear that the tariffs might actually happen or go into effect, that fear is causing the markets to react. And that's why we ended up down 7 basis points today. If the tariffs do actually go into effect, then we could see it bust through that technical level, because anytime you have more inflation, then your interest rates are going to rise. And that also means that the Fed would be less likely to cut rates in the future. And so that would be bad across the board. Now, the only positive rate-wise that could come from that is that if you do have the tariffs persist and inflation as a result, and then the Fed doesn't lower rates because of that inflation, then you're going to see the economy suffer. And if the economy suffers, then you'll see us go into a recession faster. Once we do go into a recession, then the Fed will lower rates for sure. And it's just that a lot of times that recession is delayed in its timing. So you might go into a recession, say in March or April, but they won't announce it for 3 or 4 months, because they have to get several months of data to know that we're in a recession. And so, it might be that, September, they might announce, well, we went into a recession in April, or something like that. So, and it's not until September until they decide, oh gosh, we're in a recession, let's lower rates, So anyway, that's a bit of what's going on right now. There's a lot of bluster around these tariffs, but it's hard to say what's really going to happen. I do know that when the stock market dropped by 700 points today, Trump then announced that he's delaying the Mexico tariffs for at least a month. So, and that allowed the market to respond and come back. And so we finished the day in a better situation on the markets. So there's some of that going on. I mean, Trump's very sensitive to what's going on in the stock market. And I don't think he wants the stock market to drop because of his tariffs. So I think he's going to try to basically claim a win somewhere from the tariffs and then not actually implement them or not implement nearly as much. So we'll just have to see how that pans out. But if these Canada tariffs go into effect, that's going to be bad. One of the other things that he's talked about is that we have this huge trade deficit with Canada, and he wants to fix that, and so that's part of why he's saying that he's doing this. The problem is that the entire trade deficit with Canada is oil, and so the oil is coming into our oil refineries, and if we were to stop getting the oil from Canada coming into our refineries, then that would increase our oil prices, which would also increase inflation because everything's tied to oil. So if you take oil out of it, we actually have a trade surplus with Canada. So, once again, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, that's what we're looking at right now. Just wanted to give a quick update on it, let you know what's going on. Stay tuned. I'll be giving updates regularly, depending on what happens with these tariffs and how that's impacting the pricing and the rates and things like that. And hope you all have a great rest of your night. Thanks. Bye.